Hello, lighting people. If your profession is tied to lighting, then you already know there's a strong correlation between lighting and things like design, health, wellness, productivity, safety, security, energy, and other factors that impact how humans experience light. And our industry is continuously getting better as a result of lots of the scientific research that's done to explore those connections. So we thought this would be a good time to connect with the director of the newest research center that's focused on lighting, the Light and Health Research Center at Mount Sinai, Dr. Mariana Figueiro. Mariana, thank you for joining us today for 5 Big Questions.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Great, thank you. So 2020 was a really interesting year for a lot of us in the industry and a lot of us in the world. And it was certainly an interesting one for you and some of your former colleagues at the Lighting Research Center at Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. It eventually found you in New York City, starting up a new lighting research center, or a new light and health research center at Mount Sinai. Tell us about that journey that took you through exit 9 in New Jersey and had you backtrack to the city for a little while there, for those of us that aren't fully understanding the occurrences that happened last year.
Yes. Well, I mean, we have been doing work in this area of light and health for quite some time within the Lighting Research Center. And one of the things that we knew it was important for our success was to have that link with the medical community and with a school of medicine. I did have 2 offers, one to go to Rutgers and one to go to Mount Sinai. I was actually I had decided to go to Mount Sinai, but with COVID, I got a little bit scared of going to New York City. So I decided to go to Rutgers. Well, we had some legal issues because people working in New Jersey, or people employed in New Jersey, couldn't work in New York. And the whole idea was to have a satellite center in Troy, New York, so that we didn't have to relocate the people. So because of that legal issue, I couldn't stay at Rutgers, and Mount Sinai happily took me back. So it was kind of a return home with Mount Sinai. So it has been really good. We are setting up a new space in Troy, New York. I'm going to be back and forth between New York City and Troy. And it will be really a very nice expansion. It will be a clinical arm of the technical part of lighting, which will stay in Troy, and the clinical arm will be in New York City.
Well, that's fantastic. And we know that some of your former colleagues will be joining you and some will be staying at RPI as well. But RPI, of course, is a very highly regarded academic institution. With Mount Sinai, there's a school of medicine as well as obviously a healthcare side of it. So what is the center's affiliation with the medical school? How does that help you do things that you might not have been able to do in the past with respect to some of the research that you'll be doing?
We are actually part of the medical school. I, in fact, have an appointment in the medical school, and Mark Ray, who was the director of the LRC prior to me taking the directorship of the Lighting Research Center at Rensselaer, has also joined us at Mount Sinai. So the 2 of us are going to be faculty members, and the rest of the staff will be staff scientists. Obviously, being part of the School of Medicine give us access to the hospital and the healthcare area. And I think this is really the important part, is that it will really allow us to expand our reach with the clinical applications and increase the number of the studies that we have been doing in different populations with different groups of people.
Great. And when you think about what you want to accomplish there as far as specific research priorities, what would you say are your top 2 or 3 priorities?
Well, we definitely want to continue working in the applications. So doing more of the clinical and the field trials, looking at how light can impact Alzheimer's disease patients, cancer patients, looking at depression, traumatic brain injury. So all these different applications. But one area that we're also expanding and will allow us to expand even more is on the UV and disinfection. So we're also going to be working in this area, and we're still going to continue with transportation and outdoor lighting, as well as with plant health. So it won't be necessarily linked to human health per se. It's just the health. And we're also going to continue, which is part of what we do with sustainability. So everything we do will have the energy efficiency and the sustainability theme under underlying all the activities that we do.
So with all of your experience in all the research that you and others have done in lighting research, when you look back at say the last 5 or 10 years and then look at the industry today, what were some of the major milestones that you see in the recent past that are having the biggest impact on the lighting industry today?
Well, obviously, solid state lighting. I think that really has changed how we do lighting and has opened up a huge number of opportunities. But I also think that understanding how light is much more than vision, I think this has been very important. So that has allowed us to start thinking about lighting in different applications. And now I think expanding it to outside the sort of the technical definition of light and going into UV, I think it will expand even further.
Sure. And when we're talking during these pandemic times, and as we look forward, we're recording this in January 2021. So people envision returning to the office or their workplace over the next 12 or 18 months. Occupants more than ever are going to demand and expect to have healthy buildings. And there's other things like the well building standard that is driving these types of initiatives. Aside from those things, or maybe in concert with those things, what do you think it will take for there to truly be more widespread adoption of health-minded lighting products?
Well, I think that at least prior to the pandemic, what I was getting asked for is a lot of field studies and data. I mean, a lot of people really want to see. We always joke that everybody likes to, well, everybody else wants to be the second to be the, well, the everybody wants to be the first to be the second. So in other words, nobody wants to be the first one to try new things. So people were really hoping to have more of the field data showing the benefits of light on health and well-being. And I think that that is something that hopefully we will be able to extend and expand, because I think that's what people are craving for before they can do that step and start implementing these solutions.
Outstanding. Well, hey, Mariana, it's an exciting time for lighting. The advances that are happening technology-wise are exciting, but also the research that's fueling these advances is also in lockstep with those things. So thank you for all the work that you're doing, and congratulations on your move. And I wish you and the team an incredible amount of success as you continue the mission of helping our industry raise the bar on many aspects of light and health research. So thank you.
Well, thank you very much. And we hope that we will be very successful in the next 30 years at least.